from the most merciful. Enter into the embrace of the Quran.
Takes us to 20 to 5 Central African time. Time for our Q&A for this evening, and we say shukran jazeelan this evening to Mufti Ismail Basa answering our questions. Also a resident expert at Channel Islam, as well as with the Jamiat KZN. Mufti Sahib, 2 questions coming through. The first one says, I've made 5 khatams during Ramadan and forgot to make Sajdah Tilawats for each khatam. Is there any way I can compensate for them?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. There are 14 places of sajda in the Quran Kareem where a person recites a verse of the Quran Kareem and the performance of a sajda tilawa becomes compulsory, becomes wajib. When a person recites a verse of sajda wherein sajda tilawa becomes compulsory wajib, a person has to do it. However, a person has permission, has time to delay it due to a valid reason. However, it should not be delayed unnecessarily. It is makruh, disliked to delay it unnecessarily. Now, if a person made 5 khatams of the Quran Kareem out of Salaah and those Sajdah Tilawats were not performed, a person still has the time and opportunity to perform those Sajdah Tilawats. So there are 2 ways of doing it. One is a person does it from the standing posture by reciting the takbir and going straight into the sajda posture. In the sajda posture, a person will recite the tasbih of sajda 3 times, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Thereafter, a person will recite takbir again and come back into the standing posture. The sajda tilawa is done. This can also be done from the sitting posture. A person is sitting in the tashahhud position. A person recites the takbir, goes into sajda, recites the tasbih 3 times, and comes back into the sitting posture. Now, if a person has 14 sajdas to do for each khatam, then a person can make intention for the first sajda tilawa and perform the first sajda. A person can then make a second intention to perform the second sajda tilawa and make the second sajda, so on and so forth. A person can do it in one posture, in one sitting, and cover all the sajda tilawats. In this way, the compulsion will fall away. A person would fulfill the compulsory act of performing the sajda tilawa. Now, in the month of Ramadan, it's very important. Many people recite Quran Kareem and are engaged in the recital of the Quran Kareem. Sometimes it slips the mind to perform the sajda tilawat. So if a person forgot or it slipped the mind, a person should do it as soon as possible, so that this does not remain a responsibility on a person. If it is not done, it would remain a responsibility until a person passes away, until a person dies. So a person should be conscious of this act and ensure that it is done correctly in its correct time.
Move on to the next question that's coming through. How does a person deduct liabilities that may become due after making an advance payment of zakat?
A person is permitted to make advance payments of zakat. In other words, a person gives out zakat on a monthly basis, or a person gives out zakat in installments prior to the zakat date and prior to the zakat becoming due. This can be done, this is permitted, provided that at the time of discharging the zakat, a person possessed the zakat in nisab, and at the end of the zakat year, a person also possessed the zakat in nisab. In other words, a person did not lose the zakat in nisab from the time the advance payment of zakat was discharged till the time the zakat date became due. So if this is in place, the zakat would be considered discharged. Now, how does a person deduct liabilities that may come after the advance payment of zakat? A person will have to take the full amount that was given in towards the advance payment of zakat, and then on one zakat date, on that date, whatever liabilities came upon a person or that were applicable to a person will deduct it. So in other words, you will have to keep a full calculation of the advance payment of zakat, and then on your zakat date, if there are any added liabilities or any liabilities that were not factored in, you will deduct that, and then you would realize the full amount that is payable in zakat. So it may be lower than the amount that you had given in zakat. In that case, the excess amount would be considered lillah, unless at the time of discharging the zakat an intention was made for any excess amount to carry over for the next year's zakat. If that was done, then the excess amount will carry over to the next year.
CII Radio.